Oh, okay, so people want to see Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, fair enough, I understand that. Whoa, hey Sonic, when did you get here? Good timing though, I was just talking about how my Twitter poll would determine which game I play next. Looks like I'm playing Super Mario. Where'd you get the gun, Sonic? Where'd you get the gun, Sonic? Oh, I get it. You're doing a pun, aren't you? Yeah, okay. Look, I'm gonna have to say some things I wish I didn't have to say. And you might hear some things that you wish you didn't have to hear. But let me tell you, this does come from a kind place in my heart. A place where I love the Sonic series and what it's done for me over the years. And I'm honestly not here to just shit all over the game. We've had good games from this series recently. Alright, not everyone agrees with this one, but I thought it was a great Mario game. I had hoped Sega would use this to push the Sonic series forward. But here we are. Let's go right into it. And just to warn you, I am going full force on this video. There will be spoilers. I will not hold back. Sonic Forces is like that phase some people go through. First of all, it's all childlike and colorful fun, but then as it grows older, all of a sudden,
it's not a phase, Mom. This is just who I am.
As they add another designer knife to the Blade Death Room, it tries to go out of its way to push the dark tones from the very beginning. We first see Eggman plotting his newest evil scheme. You know he really means it this time.
The boss means business this time.
We get a quick shot of Infinite before, bam, we're thrown into the first level. We start off with Green Hill Zone, because of course we do.
Green Hill's looking a lot more like Sand Hill right now.
Oh, let me guess, Sonic. It's because it winds up in places it shouldn't be. You keep finding it days later, wondering, why? I'm already way past the nostalgia of Green Hill Zone. Even if that might be somewhat brought on by the hacks I play, it needs to stop. They just don't do anything new with it, and I'm burnt out after seeing it in Generations, Mania, and now this. After that, we get a cutscene that introduces the new main villain, Infinite, Eggman's newest creation that promptly kicks Sonic's blue butt. It then skips forward 6 months, and Eggman has won the battle and taken over the world, with the crew sad over the fact that Sonic is dead and Tails went insane. Is this a Sonic game? This is where you come in. A big feature of the game is to create your own original character. And honestly, I loved this addition. All DeviantArt and Do Not Steal jokes aside, I think the ability to make your own character has been a great addition just waiting to happen. Though it starts simple at first, it can expand into an entire wardrobe of clothing to choose. To little pieces of clothing and accessories, to huge full-body suits that change your entire look. You don't start with much, but as you unlock extra stuff, you can really fine-tune your character to be something really cool. Or something silly that you grow to like after a while. Hi, meet Jimmy the Hedgehog. He's a pro gamer, and he's willing to fight for the world. The overall plot is about you and the Resistance, a group of survivors commanded by Knuckles, to take back the planet from Eggman's rule. And you know what? I was okay with this. I honestly think it was a cool angle to go with. Eggman finally won, and Sonic is nowhere to be seen and assumed dead. But of course, it's a Sonic game, and we know the truth. But I think that Eggman has a huge victory plotline hasn't really had a chance in the video games. And for the most part, it nails that cheesy dark reality quite well. It's actually quite a disconnect from how we normally see these characters, which will most likely be the make or break for people about this. I could see why this would be a deal breaker for some. I myself found it completely laughable, yet oddly interesting. The overall problem I had though was the pacing. Things just happened way too fast. In the beginning where we assume Sonic is dead, literally the next screen they're like, oh hey, by the way, Sonic, yeah, we found him. Yeah, he was just hanging out over there. Way to kill any suspense and ruin a perfect moment for us maybe to get used to our custom character, or even to give classic Sonic some kind of plot relevance, because otherwise he actually has nothing to do with this plot. He could have been used as some kind of, I don't know, morale boost or encouragement for the party. He's just there because people like 2D Sonic. Money. The gameplay is actually split into 3 different sections: Modern Sonic, Classic Sonic, and the Avatar. Modern is more of what you're used to with current Sonic Team games. Hold boost, go fast with the odd platforming moments. At least it was like that. In Forces, there certainly seems to be a massive dip in overall level design. All the stages feel very straightforward, branching paths being very brief and only there to get some of the various collectibles. Running through the levels feels fine when in 3D, but I swear, something feels really off in the 2D sections. I don't know if it's something to do with his momentum or his weight, but something feels off, especially when I double jump. And I get to remember this quite a lot because there are quite a few 2D sections. I'd certainly say that Modern Sonic has some of my favorite stages in the game though, and as usual the music for these parts are on point, and it is fun to go fast and bowl through a bunch of enemies. There are just a lot of parts which are all flash and no substance. So let's talk about Classic Sonic. Now that we have Sonic Mania, I feel he doesn't need to be here anymore. But also, I don't know what happened between Generations and this, but something just does not feel right. And I played Generations to make sure, especially when he jumps, and this is really weird to me because he feels heavy yet floaty. I think it's more of a case he gets more height than he does distance now, which ultimately just makes him feel sluggish and weighty. He has trouble keeping any real momentum, especially up slopes. I just don't feel as in control or anywhere near as confident as I did in Generations, where he's lighter, keeping your movements snappy, and has less friction overall, keeping gameplay flowing nicely, which is ultimately why I think Classic Sonic is the worst part of the game. Not only do you feel these changes, it could also be that the level design doesn't really offer you the best layouts for this engine, but the fact is the game barely acknowledges him anyway. Like I said, he has nothing to do with the story, and I don't think I can go without mentioning the music choice. They kind of go for a fake Genesis chip. It's very hit or miss, and when it misses, oh boy does it sound horrible. But to its credit, there are some tracks out there I really like. I'm starting to edge towards the idea that maybe Classic should have stayed a anniversary thing. I want to see a more focused effort on Modern Sonic, but what I wouldn't mind seeing more focus on is the Avatar stuff. This is the big hitter and easily the best part of the game. Making your character and playing through the stages is really fun. Yeah, there are still problems with the stages. They're still very simplistic and the weapons do make them kind of trivial, but I find myself having the most fun with these stages just because of the various options you get. It's very similar to Modern Sonic's style of play, but instead of boosting around, you get a weapon to use that's based around one of the wisps, and each wisp gives you a different way to take care of the enemies or a brand new way to just skip the level entirely. Yeah, it's not without its problems, and there are some things I'd like to change, though most of those are to do with the creator itself. I just want more options, and I would like to be able to have only singular clothing pieces that you can change the color of rather than different colors being separate unlocks. Really, a lot of my gameplay complaints from Modern Sonic can apply here in some way, but again, Avatar stages are quite enjoyable, and the benefit is the Avatar brings the best music in the game, with every single level having a vocal track which is on par with Sonic R. It's the little things, guys, the little things. Now, there is technically a fourth way of playing with the Avatar and Sonic teaming up together, but fundamentally it's exactly the same as the Avatar stuff, except you can boost all of a sudden. They never really do anything cool with it, they never expand it past this, and in a way that can be said about the whole game. The thing is, I see a lot of wasted potential and it really disappoints me. And to see such a waste of potential, especially in our villain Infinite. Let's specifically talk about him for a while, because there could have been so much more to this character. Pretty early on, you find out he's been powered by the Phantom Ruby. Yes, the same Phantom Ruby from Mania. This is in fact a direct connection, and Classic Sonic is the one from Mania. Early on, they give you the idea that this Ruby can basically bend reality, and we even see it in one of the levels and the boss fights. Infinite twists your reality, so you see like huge Leviathan-like like Infinite's in the background. So much more could have been done with this gimmick, this idea. We know from Mania that the Ruby can do a lot of stuff, and I just feel like there was a lot of potential to make something mind-bending, but they just wanted to play it safe. It gets even worse when Infinite is one of the bosses that you fight. You defeat him and he's just like,
my power's failing!
He dashes off and you think, oh yeah, set up for a final boss, eh? No, we never see him again. He's just gone. God damn it, this game just feels so rushed. And I don't just mean production, I mean the entire game feels like this. It doesn't take the time to build up to anything. And if it doesn't feel rushed, it feels lazy? I don't know. You fight the same running in a straight line and homing attack the boss like 5 times. Even the final boss is like this. Supersonic isn't even in the game. Neither are the Chaos Emeralds as far as I'm aware. But surprisingly, I'm not that bothered that they're not in it. It is nice to see a story wrap up in a slightly different way for once. And the game itself only runs about 4 hours long if you take your time. Now I know a lot of what I said there was negative, but the burning final question is, did I enjoy my time with Sonic Forces? Honestly, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I wasn't expecting much, but I did enjoy my time with the game. Don't get me wrong, I have a huge list of things I'd love to see different, most of which you've heard, but there are definitely some nitpicky ones in that list. It's probably one of those things where you find it easier to criticize something you really like. But for what it was, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, whether it be laughing at how silly the story felt, or molding my character as we progressed through the story. Yes, it was clear to see that some of the level design and physics were a bit wonky, but when it worked competently and was an enjoyable time. Not great, of course. There are certainly a handful of games in the series that do stuff way better. But on the other hand, this is nowhere near as bad as people are making it out to be. It feels like we're at a point where if a Sonic game doesn't knock it out of the park, that the term average is still rock bottom.
Average isn't good enough for the Sonic series. That means it's a failure.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, I'm afraid. This game is above average. Is it worth the full price? Probably not. But that has more to do with the length of the game over anything else. And look, I'm not saying you're wrong if you think this is the worst Sonic game to come out in a long time. It really depends on your thoughts about certain elements of the game. The level design, the character creator, and the story. I'm interested in seeing what they do next, and I do hope they keep the character creator. But ultimately, I'd like to see more focus on modern Sonic again, and maybe some effort put into the characters surrounding modern Sonic. I would love to see a playable Tails and Knuckles again, except with levels that are more vertical based, so it takes advantage of their unique abilities while still being a quick platformer. Well, whatever they decide to do, I'll be there to see it through and to see if they mess it up. I'd love to hear what you have to say about Sonic Forces. Believe me, there have been some polarizing arguments out there, but those have been my thoughts on Sonic Forces. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of Pixelated Bytes. Huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you all for supporting me in whatever I do. By the way, we've changed the Patreon to per month if that is more your style. Any help is appreciated, even $1. But hey, did you want to know what I thought of Sonic Mania? You can click the left video for that. Or if you want to see my thoughts on another 3D platformer that came out recently, A Hat in Time is on the right. Please like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe, maybe hit the bell if you want to do something extra special. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.